Whoa, it's dark in here. Who turned off the lights? Oh, there we go. I am your host. Get good, Fox. In the dark or in the light, I will play some more. Wait, I was gonna make it rhyme, but we're just playing some MechWarrior 5. That's what we're doing. Introducing a new battle mech, the Hero Phoenix Hawk, the Phoenix Hawk KK, which stands for Kuroi Kiri. We're not going. I mean, I believe the Japanese roll their R's, so it'd be like the Kuroi Kiri, but we're not going to. It takes too much effort. So this is the Phoenix Hawk we're going to be taking a look at, and here comes the weapons: a Bazapper Rapper PPC, a large ER laser, a pair of medium lasers, and a machine gun. As a result, I'm going to be a little awkward with this. I talked about how I'm not very good with mechs that have what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not good with mechs that use 4 weapon groups, but it's more than that. It's not just that they use 4 weapon groups. I'm bad when it's 4 weapon groups and one of them is a constantly firing weapon, like this machine gun right here. That really messes me up. If it were just like 4 weapon groups, but they have a long recharge time, that wouldn't be such a big deal. But those continuous fire weapons with 4 weapon groups, oh man, that tends to not go too well for me. We are already experiencing heat issues. Not surprising. I mean, this mech is 45 tons. I believe it has fairly standard stats by the standards of a Phoenix Hawk in terms of its physical, like in terms of the mech's body, so to speak. The armor, I believe, is pretty average. The running speed is 97. That is, about normal. That's what we would expect a Phoenix Hawk to run at. And as you can see, the heat sinking is okay. It's not fantastic. However, we are using some pretty hot weapons. There's no doubt about that. The PPC is a hot weapon. The ER laser, which stands for extended range, the weapon, obviously, as it suggests, it has an extended range. But in exchange for that extended range, the weapon does generate more heat. So that is, possibly a bit of a problem. I don't suspect that I will be keeping. And no, it's a lostech weapon. We can't use it. But even if we could use lostech weapons, I probably would not do it on the basis that I don't really fight at long range that often. I feel like, basically, I don't have a problem getting a little bit closer. Wait, what am I doing? I'm thinking I'm in a demolition mission. I'm tearing this place up. I'm sure there's someone down in the comment section just yelling at me right now. No, man, so let me tell you, we are definitely struggling with our heat. I destroyed some vehicles and I have been stuck in the kind of 70 to 80 heat range for there we go. I thought I could shoot I guess I keep forgetting that this is an ER large laser, so that means the heat is way higher, but that is a definite problem with this mech. This mech would be absolutely screwed if something with flamers got on it, just because it just does not have the heat sinking capability for these weapons. Here are the battle mechs. I was wondering where the battle mechs would be. We gotta be careful with this mech. We really gotta pace ourselves. We're gonna have to make a lot of use of this machine gun just because it doesn't really generate any heat. And up close, honestly, we might just be using the medium. Got him. Here comes the Jaeger mech. We know that its rear armor is quite weak, so I'm just gonna try to. If he's facing me, then he's not facing my allies. So either way, someone is gonna be able to get some rear armor hits on him. There we go. Let's go and throw the large laser in there. He is falling apart. Look at that. I'm just basically tickling this guy with the machine gun right now because I can't really use anything else. But there goes the Jaeger mech. And, oh, wow, they really didn't send that. I didn't really destroy that many mechs in this mission. I skipped through about 6 or 7 kills, but they were all vehicles. They were all just helicopters. Very surprising, the lack of battle mechs, lack of armor in this mission. Alright boys, welcome back to Cashzilla, where we're going to be taking a look at the Phoenix Hawk KK. Here's what it looks like. It's got kind of a interesting sort of desaturated, kind of a faded, almost kind of like a construction vehicle yellow. And at first I kind of thought it was camo, but I think these are actually clouds. Like look right over here, like these designs here. I think they're supposed to be like green clouds or something. And then it's got a little bit of white trim on the highlights on the clouds. I'm not sure what it is, but that's what it appears like to me. Overall, it's a pretty cool color scheme. It would probably blend in really well in the sulfur biome, which is the biome where everything is kind of tinted a monochromatic yellow. Here are the stats on the Phoenix KK. We've got 240 armor. That's pretty good. You know, I'd be happy with 240 armor. The Phoenix wouldn't be able to carry too much more than that. In fact, let's actually see. What is its max armor? 318. So, you know, we could do a little better, but honestly, I think 240 is fairly comfortable. The speed is 97.2. That is faster than normal by the standards of a medium mech. Remember that you would expect them to go about 80, 81 kilometers per hour. So this is 97.2. That is the average speed of a light mech. As far as the equipment goes, we have the PPC and the ER large laser in the right and left arms respectively. There is 2 medium lasers divided between the 2 arms, and the left arm has a machine gun fed by, interestingly, 1.5 tons of machine gun ammo. You could definitely get away with just a half ton for a single machine gun. Whereas the other arm, which is this is interesting, that the AM system is actually in the arm. There it is right there on the shoulder of the mech. And it is fed by 1 ton of ammo, all the ammo in the left torso. It then has 6 class, what is this? How do I read Roman numerals? Class 4 jump jets, and then a single double heat sink. Basically, if this were two regular heat sinks, that would never keep this heat in check. So let's see what I can do. All right, and here we go. It is time for, something a little bit different. It's not that different, but it's still different. So I am going in on the short burst lasers because they are a bit more heat efficient, mainly because they shoot faster, so you don't have to commit to the big laser if you overkill a target. For example, shoot the big, large laser at a helicopter, and you destroy it technically before the laser ends. So some of the heat is wasted. There's no need to get super technical, but we can say that the short burst lasers are, on average, going to be a little more heat efficient. And I think that reining this in, dropping 2 of the big sources of heat, the ER large laser and the PPC, but at the same time I wanted to make use of the 2 large energy hardpoints. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to show it now, but you've got 2 large energy hardpoints, 2 medium energy hardpoints, a small ballistics, and an AM slot. That's what we're dealing with. And I think that's going to help a lot. We also I want these weapons to feel a little more comfortable, so I'm very fine with grouping the small laser and the machine gun together. So that is going to be fine. This is going to be a 3-weapon group kind of setup as usual. And we got the AM still. So I went ahead and bumped up. Actually, no, I kept it the same, actually. We've got the same machine gun ammo that we had. We got the same AMS ammo that we had. All of the jump jets have been removed. The double heat sink was removed. The armor has been increased from 240 to 272. And we now have 7 heat sinks, which should be, I believe, pretty comfortable. And although this is not the maximum armor, I think that's okay because the mech is fast, and I believe we can trust that the speed of the mech and our evasion should shake off more damage than an extra 50 armor ever will. All right, now we've actually got ourselves a little bit of a fight here. Look at this, difficulty 47, which means we can drop up to 270 tons. We could get a little closer if we weren't piloting such a small mech, but that's not the case. We got the big beefy boys to go in, and my mech does not have the same kind of firepower, honestly. It doesn't have the sustained firepower that the Spider A has. So I probably am going to focus on destroying the vehicles because this mech is going to be really good at destroying vehicles and hunting down smaller mechs. That doesn't mean I will ignore the larger mechs, but that's probably what I am going to focus on in order to prevent them from getting, so that they don't get confused from the sheer amount of enemies they've got to fight. Alrighty, so it's time to talk about the Phoenix KK. This is a semi-canon mech. It did exist. There was, in fact, a Phoenix KK, the Kuroi Kiri. And it does have a pilot of some recognition. However, I don't believe there is any indicator that this mech that he was piloting was any different than any other Phoenix Hawk, hence the semi-canon. Oh, what was that? Mind your own business, jeez. Oh, I gotta change my weapon groups. Hold on a second. There we go. Let's do it like that, like this. There we go. So then we can fire double, or we can fire them single. Either one. Apply. There we go. All right, let's try this again. Let's single there. Okay. Anyways, let's get a little closer to our enemies. So the Phoenix KK, has a pilot, and the pilot. No, I shouldn't have gone to double there. The pilot's name is Shin Yodama, and if you're thinking that, hey, that sure sounds like a Japanese name, is this guy from the Draconis Combine? Well, yeah, he's a Combine pilot. Shin Yodama is distinctive for being a member of the Yakuza. He did not start as a member of the Yakuza. He just kind of turned to it as basically as a way to improve his life, because he was born an orphan in the Lyran Commonwealth, and joining the Yakuza was kind of a way for him to, get some kind of respect and prestige and money and, women, stuff like that. All the stuff that you might expect from becoming a member of, or the things that you would hope you would get from joining organized crime. And, well, where's this guy going? Oh, he's got, no weapons. Oh, well, I guess it's my job to zapinate him. I am the fast mech, after all. So I will do it. I will perform the zapinating. Anyways, so as a member of the Yakuza, that is where the name of the mech comes from. So he was part of the Kuroi Kiri Yakuza family, and that is why, as I said, that is where his battle mech got its name. It's not the only mech that he piloted. He also would pilot I believe a Panther, and then later on a Fire Dragon, I think. Here, focus on that. Oh, come on, let me just get this real quick. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and start zapinating. There we go. And, so what's the big deal about being Yakuza? Well, in the Draconis Combine, it's very unlikely that you're going to become a MechWarrior if you are Yakuza because of their caste-based society. You're basically viewed as an undesirable, and that's exactly how it was back in 1600s Japan, which is where a lot of the Combine's culture comes from. And this would begin to change, and that this change would actually cause a big problem in the Draconis Combine, where when the Federated Commonwealth came together and they would launch the war of 3039 against the Combine, they needed more people, and the Combine kind of sensed this, because remember that the Federated Commonwealth formed before they actually began launching these military invasions, and the Draconis Combine was kind of oh man, we're not really getting the kind of talented mech warriors at the speed we want them, and so we're kind of understaffed. We don't have the manpower, and even though it was kind of a big taboo, excuse me, even though it was a taboo, and the reason for that is because, they didn't want to reward criminals with the honor of being a mech warrior. We haven't talked about it a little bit, but don't forget that mech warriors are basically nobles. If you're a great house mech, or even a periphery mech warrior, you are an important person. You have privileges, you have status, you have, rank. It's a really big deal, and they just didn't want that. They just felt that that's not something that the kind of criminal underbelly and your gutter snipes, your dregs of society, they didn't want that. However, the Combine would decide to not remove, but relax some of these rules in order to refill their ranks in the Draconis Combine Mustard Soldiery. That's the name of their armed forces. And Shin Yodama would join, and prove himself to be both a very effective mech warrior and also a loyal ghost warrior. The ghost regiments were basically these kind of, sketchy yakuza criminal units that were formed that were allowed to become military units. And he did very, very well. Like Shin Yodama would serve before and after the clan conflict, and he would die during the Word of Blake crisis. He would be killed in a terror attack, a bombing, and it would happen very abruptly. It was like an ambush, and it was a really big deal. It might have been the downfall of the Word of Blake, as it caused clan, because one of the people that were killed in the bombing was the Khan of Clan Ghost Bear, because Clan Ghost Bear wanted to play nice with the Inner Sphere. They wanted to kind of just move in. They were willing to be more cooperative. And when that happened, that meant that Clan Ghost Bear formally declared war on the Word of Blake, and that's probably one of the things that began to turn the tide against the Blakeists. So we tore up the base, and it looks like they're bringing a dropship in. I was expecting this simply due to the lack of enemies that we were fighting. I felt like there probably would be a dropship. I'm going to try to knock these out. I should assign them a target, though, just to keep them from getting confused. So I am going to do that. Focus fire on the Vindicator. I will mop up these targets. Right there. Oh, God, didn't want to fire them both, but we did anyways. I gotta say, this mech is running way cooler. It's way... Okay, let's switch targets. Get the commando. It's right in front of us. Here we go. I'm on him. Now you will not escape because we are the same speed. And I have more long-range firepower than you, so I am able to very easily seal his fate. Got a pop-up turret over here. Let's knock it out. Oh, he survived. Interesting. All right, let's get this Vindicator out of here. I gotta say, I think you guys will agree that this is really not the most impressive resistance I've seen for a mission that is 270 tons. These are really, I mean, the vehicles were there. Those were some decently heavy vehicles, but man, the battle mechs, some sorry battle mechs we just fought there for sure. Alrighty, that was a pretty smooth mission. This is very acceptable damage. I don't see any armor breaches. As expected, the Phoenix Hawk was able to basically weave through the gunfire, shake a lot off, doesn't need to be fully armored, whereas these slower mechs, you're probably going to want to be fully armored or very close to it, unless you are a back rank mech. Very good on Captain Strong. Look at this, almost matching. Oh, wow, look at over here. Actually, wow, someone out... That's really good. The team actually did really good. Anyways, there you have it. The Phoenix Hawk KK, the Phoenix Hawk Kuroi Kiri, and a little bit of a history behind it as well, since there was some story involving this mech. So what do I think about it? Well, first off, the redesign performed much better. The heat was basically non-existent. I could fire very... Oh, that's one thing I just noticed is pretty neat. Look, this Phoenix Hawk has the kind of cosmetic gun mount on both, because I don't think that the Phoenix Hawk is actually carrying a gun. It's just aesthetically designed to resemble carrying a gun. But normally the Phoenix Hawk doesn't look like it. It doesn't have a gun in each arm, so that's actually, I just didn't notice that until I was on foot. But it performed very nicely. The double large laser is able to very effectively swat down helicopters and turrets. It can zap missile carriers, basically any of the more thinly armored things. And you might say, can't a lot of weapons do that? Yes, but the large laser short burst, it fires very rapidly, and meaning you can thin them out at a longer distance. And then the double small lasers with the machine gun, that is perfectly reasonable support firepower against the mechs that close in. And the mech runs cool enough that you can just continuously use the large lasers in close combat with your supplemental weapons. Now, would I recommend this mech, though? Now, the funny thing is, I'm going to go ahead and say no. Now, if you're a Phoenix Hawk fan, sure, go for it. But if the Phoenix Hawk isn't important to you, if that's not a big deal, honestly, to me, this felt like I was just piloting the crab. That's what this mech felt like. It felt like a crab with less armor, but it had a machine gun. Because The crab, I typically run it 2 large lasers, two small lasers, but the crab, for being a little bit slower, not even a whole lot slower, just a little bit slower, is way more heavily armored. It's just like, I think the crab is just going, this mech is basically kind of pretending to be a faster crab. If that's what you want, then yeah, sure, this is going to be great. But if you want, a little more armor, but at the same time you don't want to go slow, absolutely go for the crab. And honestly, as a hero mech, you could compare this to the crab, the 27 SL, which is the special Star League, the Royal Star League Defense Forces version of the crab, which has an extra light engine and endo steel, meaning you can basically slap on 2 PPCs on that crab very easily, plenty of room for a lot of other heat sinks in order to keep the mech cool. I don't know though. Like I said, I think the crab is better, so it's up to you. I think it's great. It's still a good mech. It's going to be extra good if you have an affinity for the Phoenix Hawk, then this mech is basically perfect. But, if you're kind of like, whatever about the Phoenix Hawk, then, I could say you could probably pass them. Anyways, what would you have done with this mech? What do you think about the redesign? Tell me what you think about the history lesson as well. And until next time, like the video if it was entertaining, subscribe for future MechWarrior 5 Heroes of the Industry rags to riches content. And of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.